October the 23rd, 2008. Yes, today's my birthday. I was born back in 1970 on this day, back in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I was one of the first of many African American babies born at the Lady of the Lake Hospital in Baton Rouge, which is no longer there now. But I was proud to be one of the very few African American babies born at the hospital back in 1970 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But today I had a day off from work. I took today off, and I will be taking tomorrow off from work. And that will be my last two vacation days out of the 10. But today I turned 38. I had to renew my driver license, so I did that today. So the rest of the day I will be alone at home just chilling. I want to thank everybody that wished me a happy birthday today, who texted me, and those that didn't, I really could care less, but it's all good. But as I get older, I start to realize I've been single this long, a chance I will be single for a little while longer, which I like because I know how I am. I just like my father. I like being alone. I like being to myself. And marriage is something I don't see myself getting into no time soon. And now that I've been on this earth for 38 years, I come to realize that I guess it's for the best. Everything happens for a reason. What happened so far in my life since the last time I vlogged y'all? Let me think. Other than cussing out my supervisor at work last week, Monday I cussed out the project engineer, which makes him over us. We got a superintendent who's over us, a foreman who's over us. They both white, and then we had the project engineer and the field engineer. Now the project engineer is in charge of one of the job sites that we're working at. He's a young dude. He's African American from Mississippi. He's no more than maybe 25, 20. He might be 27 years old. I'm 38 now, and he talked at me wrong on a Monday. He made it seem like it was mandatory to stretch, which I knew was not, because you cannot force a man to do something he don't want to do. And as for me, I work out every day. I do about 100 sit-ups every day, about 100 push-ups every day, and I stretch every day before I go to work because I'm pretty much, with me having a bad heart, my knees right now are hurting me, and I also have somewhat of a bad back, so I stretch out every morning before I go to work. Now they're trying to make it on Mondays that you have to stretch out every day at work, which according to the safety DVD that we watched before we got hired at the company, stated that it's not mandatory. But that Monday, for some reason, I just wasn't in a good mood. I got back after 2 days of being off, come back Monday to hear all this crap. They were trying to pretty much force us to stretch and talking to us any kind of way. So I just said, fuck it. I went off on them and I cussed them out. And I pretty much got suspended without pay for that day. They sent me home and wrote me up. At first they were going to try to suspend me for 3 days. But the head carpenter told him, if you suspend that dude for 3 days, that man can't live off that. 3 days off from work, pretty much I ain't going to make no money. But if they had suspended me for 3 days, I pretty much would have left the company and worked with someone else. I would have worked with acoustics, who are in charge of sheetrock and hanging ceiling tile and studs and stuff like that. They've been pretty much begging me to work for them for about 2 years now. So if they would have, last Monday, if they would have suspended me for 3 days, I would not went back, because I told them straight up that Monday after I cussed them out that as long as y'all got that slave master mentality and talk to people any kind of way like they're a bunch of dogs and slaves, then nobody never going to want to work with y'all. So the head carpenter was telling me while he was taking me to the side that he heard them over talking. They were going to try to suspend me for 3 days without pay. And I just said, oh, okay. Because if they would have suspended me for 3 days, I think they pretty much, well, the superintendent pretty much knew that I was not going to come back. And I would have pretty much left. I would have quit. Because there would be no reason for me to come back after being suspended for 3 days. Just because I cussed them out and told them what they were. Because as long as they got that mindset of a slave master mentality, thinking it's 1808 and not 2008, nobody's never going to respect them. I don't respect him. I definitely don't respect the foreman, because he ain't nothing but an old racist anyway, and a bigot. And it's a shame that it's your own people that are just as ignorant as a racist, because that's all racism is ignorance and the fear of not wanting to know more about African Americans, Asians. I'm not going to sit there and think all Asians know Kung Fu, because that's not true. I don't believe all Asians speak broken English, because that's not true. I know white people that can't speak English worth crap. So I don't believe in stereotypes. I don't believe in typecasting. I don't believe in labeling people. And this company is good for labeling people. Right now, they say I'm a carpenter apprentice, but they still have it on file, me on file as a laborer, which is no surprise. Because that overlooked, that man done told the office manager many times that I am a carpenter apprentice, but for some reason they don't want to switch it. But I'm getting paid, so I could care less what they label me as, because I don't believe in labels anyway. But I had to cuss this project engineer out, had to cuss out the field engineer, because they were making it seem like it was mandatory to stretch, which I knew it wasn't. So when I came back to work that Tuesday last week, they showed the DVD again, the safety orientation video, and the safety orientation video pretty much showed that, hey, you want to stretch, you can stretch, but it's not mandatory to stretch. Which I already knew it wasn't mandatory to stretch, because I watched the same damn video back in 2005, and I knew it wasn't mandatory. And I told them, it's not mandatory to stretch. If I stretch every day before I come to work, I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. And I don't have to be to work until 7. And I work out every day, and I stretch every day. But they make it seem, when they realized how stupid they were Tuesday, and they saw the video and realized that it wasn't mandatory to stretch, they were like, well, it's teamwork. I said, fuck all that. I just looked at everybody, I just shook my head, because it was just ridiculous. They made a big deal out of nothing, and I just wasn't in the mood that Monday for all that slave master shit. I put up with it every day, because that's just the way they are. But I didn't feel like it that day, so I had to cuss them out. And they sent me home. At first they were going to send me for 3 days, but they pretty much knew, the superintendent knew, and the head carpenter knew. They suspended me for 3 days. I told them when I came back Tuesday. I told acoustics, the people that work for the acoustics, that they would have suspended me for 3 days. I would have been calling y'all for a job, because I wouldn't have went back. And that's what the foreman of acoustics, he been warning them. He said, whenever you want to work for us, you can come work for us. You could have been quit on them. But I ain't going to quit. I ain't no quitter. But they would have suspended me for 3 days. I would have left their ass, because it wasn't worth it. They made a big deal out of nothing. And this past Monday, I didn't stretch again. Because you cannot make a full grown man, old woman do what they don't want to do. I don't give a damn what the company policy is. If you can't make that man, if I come there to work, I come there to work. I don't come there for all that BS and trying to force somebody to do something, or make somebody or talk to somebody any kind of way, because you think just because you got a title or a degree from college that you better than somebody else, knowing we the ones, me, the head carpenter, the laborers, doing all the damn work, while you standing around like an overseer overlooking what we doing. You ain't doing shit. So fuck him. And I lost respect for him, the field engineer. I've been lost respect for the foreman. He ain't nothing but an old racist bigot. So I've been lost respect. And the superintendent, he wasn't on my side. He could give a fuck. So fuck him too. I don't respect him as I work with him, but other than that, the only person I respect at that company is the head carpenter, and sometimes I don't trust him. Other than that, I could care less about that company. I told him straight up, I give a damn about you or anybody in this office or the company. The only thing I care about is God and my family, because they're the only ones that got my back. And fuck everybody else. But anyway, I'm just going to chill, watch TV all day, sleep today and tomorrow. Tomorrow I might have to go out there and get my check. It's going to be a small check, because they didn't pay me for Monday. So I'm only going to make 32 hours. So that's just the way God is. I had to educate them. Sometimes you have to use profanity to educate them, but that's just the way it is. But I'll talk to y'all later. I'm going to celebrate my birthday, watch TV, and just chill. Hey, the Incredible Hulk DVD is out. Came out Tuesday. I got the limited edition. I also got the full screen version. So I'll be watching that. I love the Incredible Hulk movie. So I'll be watching that today. Maybe all day and all day tomorrow. Talk to y'all later, and God bless.